Hey everybody, Audrey here, the fit, fearless, and faithful mom. If you're coming back to me, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. If it's your first time, thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Tapping that little subscribe button so that you can join me again. So what I'd like to talk about today is NFP. So I had gotten a request asking me to share my NFP story, and gladly will I do so. Maybe getting a little rosy in the cheeks at times, but here we go. So I was first introduced to the Creighton model system, and if you're unfamiliar with it, you chart your mucus cycles using stickers, and you have a chart, and it's not just for having a baby or trying to conceive. If you are having fertility care issues, it really does help pinpoint those issues, and I'm definitely going to talk about that because without Creighton, Tyler, she wouldn't be here. Corbin, he might be here, and then Corey, yeah, she'd be here. So let's start from the beginning. I was introduced to Creighton October 6th, 2009, 6 weeks prior to Cody and I getting married. We got married on November 20th. No, 21st. Oh no. Okay. So sorry. We got married on November 21st, 2009. And we're laughing because I totally got the year wrong in the last take. So sorry. I can remember all kinds of weird dates, but for some reason, and I feel so bad, I get our wedding anniversary confused. In my defense though, Kyler's birthday is August 20th. So I have the 20th in my head, and years 08, 09, and 10 were just a whirlwind. So, and it was a whirlwind because we graduated in 08, we got married in 09, and we had Kyler in 10. All right, so I had just been charting for 6 weeks, and when I left for my honeymoon, my sister said, you're probably gonna have peak-type mucus. If you have peak-type mucus, you're gonna get pregnant. And me liking to test the waters a little bit, I definitely had peak-type mucus on our honeymoon. Cody and I were married, so we were like, meh. And I was like, you know what? Let's see if science is correct. In our vows, we stated we will accept children lovingly and willingly from God. So with that, with my mucus in tow, we're like, man, let's see what's gonna happen. Got back home. That was around the time that I was still competing in fitness competitions. We were entering, you know, like Christmas and stuff. So I was starting to try and get ready for the upcoming fitness season. And I was like, man, this is gonna be my year. I'm gonna get sponsorships and all this other kind of, then all of a sudden I wasn't able to trim up as I wanted to. And I was just feeling a little fluffy around the Christmas time. Something just wasn't right. I had told you about, different body changes that were happening. I really wasn't nauseous or anything, but I had a yeast infection. And I was like, this is weird. Why do I have a yeast infection? So it wouldn't go away, and I was starting to feel a little bit off, not really morning sicknessy, but I just wasn't feeling myself. So this was now 3 weeks after our honeymoon, and me being totally, I guess, naive. I was like, oh, I'm not pregnant, no worries. I went to just an after-hours clinic. I called Cody. It was December 18th, and I called him and said, hey, I'm gonna go to the after-hours clinic. It's right across the street from work. I'm just gonna kind of pop in and see if they can help me out. So he said, okay, sure, fine, no problem. Well, then I walked in, and the guy said, okay, is there a possibility of you being pregnant? I said, no, not at all. I don't really think so. And he said, are you sure? And I said, no, I don't see how. Not thinking back to a couple days after we got married, I was just a little 22, 23-year-old. I think I was 22 when we got married, so pretty young. So he said, okay, can you go pee in a cup for me? And I said, oh, is this the way you test for a yeast infection now? And the guy kind of looked at me and went, here. So I went, still completely, you can make fun of me all you want for this. I will never forget this. I was sitting, waiting in the room. The door flings open and I hear, congratulations. And the room started spinning spinning and started like, I have never felt like that before. Like I felt like, you know, you see in some movies and stuff, like the room is just spinning and there's just blackness. I didn't hear like a thing that he was saying for the next, I don't know, it seemed like an eternity. All I was thinking was, I'm pregnant. I am newly married. We have like no money. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this has really happened. Like the Creighton system works. It showed me I had peak type mucus. This is bananas. This is bananas. He then asked me, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to punch him in the face. He said, well, is the father gonna be upset with you? I said, are you kidding me? I said, I'm married. Like, I told you I'm married. Yeah, I kind of got I just looked at him like he was crazy. And I was like, of course, he's not gonna be mad. Like, I'm married. Anyway, he said, are you okay? And I said, I am so dizzy right now and disoriented. I said, this is not how I anticipated finding out that I am pregnant right now. He said, okay, look, you do have a yeast infection. We are going to treat it. It's not going to affect the baby. And that's all I really heard. He left. A nurse walked in and she said, are you okay? And I said, I am terrified right now. You know, I am open to accepting life. I said, but that doesn't mean I am not scared right now. I am terrified. Cody wasn't with me. I thought I was just going to the doctor because I had a yeast infection. I was terrified. It's not how I anticipated finding out that we were going to be having our first child. He starts talking to me a little bit and I am now thinking like, wow, I am going to be a mother and I'm very young to be a mother, but it's going to be okay. I walked out of there. It was raining, cats and dogs outside. I got into my little silver 2-door Honda Civic and I burst into tears. Not because I was upset and I like didn't want this child, not at all. I burst into tears because I was terrified. Angels guided my car home that day. I don't know how I made it home, like hysterically crying. I pulled myself together. I got out of the car and I opened the door and grabbed our cat that we had for some reason. I walked in and I know my eyes were bloodshot and Cody looks at me and he's like, what's wrong? We're pregnant. And so he laughed and grabbed me and said, why are you crying? Like, this is awesome. We hugged and then we got Lebanese food for dinner. So that was great. Now here's where Creighton comes back in. Because I was charting, it was suggested to me, look for a macro doctor. And so I did. And lo and behold, there was one in town. I went to do blood work to make sure that my progesterone and estrogen were at the appropriate levels because if they're not, you run the risk of miscarriage. Well, when I did my blood work, I had no progesterone and my estrogen was at like a 0.01. How I got pregnant having neither of those is only that guy right there. Because I didn't have progesterone, didn't have estrogen, and you need those to support life, I'm really thankful for Creighton because of that. I immediately got on progesterone shots and those shots are no joke. Cody injected me with them from 3.5 weeks up until delivery because my progesterone kept dipping. Like it would maintain and then it would tank down. That wasn't good because if it tanks, then you can lose your baby. Now with regular modern medicine, they tend to wait until you've had several miscarriages before checking your progesterone and estrogen. We as Catholics, like we value life and we want to protect life. Getting that check right away was amazing. I'm really thankful for it because I don't think Kyler would be here if we didn't get that checked. If I didn't have Cody giving me those injections, and if, you know, with the progesterone injections, it's a thick shot. So it's a thick needle. It's not like a flu shot needle that's pretty thin. It's a thick needle that you have to inject on your back. So the upper part of your behind. And so I would lay down on the bed and Cody would find the spot and it's about a 3.5 minute injection. So that's a pretty long period of time. I would fill the needles and Cody would inject me. I think you did 2 injections, right? Yeah, it was 2 shots twice a week. Okay, so it was 2 big needles twice a week. So we did it on, I think in the beginning it was 3. It was 3, so that's 6 shots a week, but like 2 each time. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do an injection and then every 2 weeks I had to go get blood work. and I had to go make sure that the level was okay. You can definitely look more into like where your progesterone should be, because that's really important. We thought that my levels were stable, and then it was between like 28 and 30 weeks when my doctor wanted to start dropping my dosage to, you know, just one injection each time. Then he gave me a call and said, "How are you feeling?" I'm okay. He said, "Can you feel the baby?" I said, "Well, yeah." Yeah. He said, "Audrey, your progesterone has tanked. It has completely tanked, and it's like your progesterone is like nothing right now. You sure you're okay?" And so I went back for a recheck, and my progesterone still was incredibly low. And so he actually upped my dosage, even like towards the end of that pregnancy, because he said, "I don't want you delivering a baby at 30 weeks at all." So that's another big part of why Creighton helped. So after that, we still used the Creighton model system, starting watching out for mucus and mucus cycles and paying attention. I did get back into competing, and I messed up my cycle completely, but Creighton helped. My doctor got me back on track, helped me with dealing with not necessarily like, I had, you know, I guess exercise bulimia. You like food binge, but then you exercise binge. And so I struggled with that, and I messed up my cycle, but Creighton and Napro helped to get me back on track with that. So a couple years later, I got my cycle sort of, kind of again. And then it was, okay, I definitely have mucus. We're gonna get pregnant. You sure about this? And then here comes Corbin. So what's really neat is that by tracking, by using NFP, by using these methods, you can actually pinpoint when you have conceived your child. It's not this like shot in the dark. So that's really cool, and it's really beautiful. With Corbin, my progesterone and estrogen was really low, and I shouldn't have been able to conceive, but I conceived Corbin. And so again, I needed shots. I didn't need them for as long. I think we stopped at 32 weeks with him because my progesterone like was at a great level, and it stayed there. So I still was getting blood work every 2 weeks. After Corbin was born, having him actually reset my system. It was really neat. I was cycling every single month, and I have been. So Corbin is 5 years old. For the past, I think he was 11 months old when I got my cycle back officially, and ever since then, so we'll say for the past 4 years, my cycle has been consistent. My mucus cycle has been consistent. So pregnancy can definitely reset your body. It's really cool. We continue to use the Creighton model system, continue to use Napro, and then we said, okay, are we gonna have baby number 3? Tyler and Corbin was kind of like, let's just, go for it. And Corey was actually planned through NFP. It was, I am fertile right now, let's go. Using NFP, it is such a beautiful way to respect one another, respect one another's bodies, to use it as a tool and create life and accept life. It's a beautiful gift. I highly encourage you to look at Creighton and look at Napro. I'm gonna link everything below. What method do you use? I know some of my friends use the Marquette method. What method do you use? What is your NFP story? Let me know. Comment below. If you have questions, please let me know, and I'll try and answer them as best as possible. But I know for me that I wouldn't have 2 out of 3 of these kids. It would have been pretty difficult. So the way to respect your body, respect your life, get to know your body, and for your husband to get to know your body as well. Hey, hope you enjoyed the story of how I found out that I was pregnant for the first time. Cheers on that one. If I can pray for you in any way, if you're pregnant right now, let me know so that I can pray for you. If you are struggling, I will add you to my prayer list for sure. So take care, everybody. God bless. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget, tap that subscribe button, tap that little bell so that you can join me in the future. Take care. Bye.